Hello, everyone, and welcome to Girls Run the World. My name is Anya, my pronouns are she, her, and I will be your guiding voice today using the correct terminology for my role. We are going to be playing Under the Floorboards by Chris Bissett from Loot the Room, where we are playing 2-inch tall floorboard folk living in the Biggs world and borrowing from them to survive. This is a fluffy game of exploration and found family. We have, throughout the course of this limited series, 1 physical copy and 5 digital copies of the game to give away, 1 for each episode, courtesy of Chris himself. Thank you, Chris. To enter the giveaway for the digital copy today, type !floorboards into the chat. And that's what floorboards with an S. So if everyone can go around, give us your name and pronouns, a little bit about your characters. And we are down a Tina today, unfortunately. So let's start with Caden.
Oh gosh, starting with me now. Hi, I'm Caden, they, them, and I'm playing Brandy, she, her. No, she, them. I keep forgetting what I don't.
All good.
Yeah, it's more early morning here. Yeah, she's the strong one of the group, carries the heavy things, totes the bales, and just things like that.
Perfect. And then Natalie.
Right. Hi, everyone. My name's Natalie. I use she, they. And my character is Pen, who uses they, them, and they are the scout of the group. So they keep an eye out and are a little bit of a risk taker. They love the adventure, but not to the point of putting everyone in danger.
Yep. And then Lola.
Hey, I'm Lola, pronouns they, them. I am playing Spinnaker, pronouns they, them also, and they are the builder of the group. They get hopelessly distracted by the machinations and the way that bits and bobs work and make things.
Perfect. So, just to give a little recap, why am I looking at the physical copy when I have it up on my computer screen? To give a little recap, last week our dear little Tuffets found their way into their new home, scouting out a space to rebuild after they had to vacate their old space due to a terrible construction job that the Bigs decided to do on their home. They found a cottage on a country lane that had other floorboard folk living in it and settled in before deciding to explore. They found themselves under what looks to be a study of sorts and scaled the writing desk with some handy maneuvers by Brandy to springboard their companions up onto the polished wood surface above. They had a momentary scare as one of the Bigs came into the room to fetch their cold coffee cup away and came into contact with Stumble and Flory Mantle, a nervous and industrious couple who live in the walls not far from the Tuffets. They shared a meal and conversation, which the Tuffets learned that the clamoring chimes and constant thunking sounds are coming from a newly installed tall piece of furniture the Bigs just brought in several suns ago and set about planning how to stop its incessant noise. Big ol' recap. So I'm going to set up the establishing question now. This is one of the elements of the expedition phase in Under the Floorboards. So it has been several suns since you first made your home here under the floorboards in your new home. What have you done to spruce up the space and make it more homey? And with that, are there any interesting trinkets or useful items that you found to build up the space into a more solid structure? And if we need to do any flashback moments, we can do that as well. So who would like to start?
I think I have an idea.
Okay.
I think at some point we came across lost pieces of like the tumbling tower. Not going to say the brand name.
Yep.
So like the little wooden blocks of that game, and we've just found some pieces lying around, and we thought, oh, this would make fantastic, either to build a structure or to make like wooden furniture with if we like whittle it down. So I think we found at least 3 random pieces through the house. One we chopped up into little stools. And then the other 2 we use as like a base structure for what will be our future kitchen area.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I can picture that. You could probably get 2 or 3 chairs out of one of those blocks easily, given that you are 2 inches tall.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Anyone else?
I think Brandy would have come upon the kids' playroom, art room, junk room, and just found like some colored pencils and maybe a little pot of paint, and brought those down to decorate the walls.
Oh, yes. Oh, I love that. It's a little bit older and a little bit crusty. You can tell that these kids have not used this room in quite some time. Who knows exactly for what reason, though you do know that there was talk of someone coming to visit with a big, scary creature. So perhaps they just grew up. Maybe it's a grandchildren's room. Unclear, but easily enough.
But some of the pencils, use them to like support the walls and ceiling.
Oh, yes. That would make a very good support structure for your home. I like that. Spinnaker?
Yeah, I think that Spinnaker has mostly been concentrating on kind of learning things like beds and like making sure that So somewhere nice and comfortable to sleep. So
Mhm.
possibly like these were some of the bits that were brought with you, but just
Mhm.
kind of setting them up, and also kind of bits and bobs from lying around, and definitely has used some of the things that we collected last time.
Mhm.
We didn't get all of the paper, but managed to use some of that. Has kind of started has started kind of making plans for like future rooms, and also has spent a bit of time pondering on the designs that Florrie and they were going to like try and work on, and has made copious amounts of notes.
Excellent. Yes, and one of the things that Flory did show you in this time frame is that he's had time to set up essentially kind of like a ramp system that helps to get up to the top of kind of like the wainscoting that the bigs use. And there's like some holes drilled in key places, hiding behind furniture, so that it's easy enough to access some of those areas, and just easier time than say scaling up a whole bunch of nails and things like that.
Yep.
For sure. Okay, so with all of that, and Dusty is off exploring with Eek, your dormouse, who decided that both of them just really wanted to go off exploring the rest of the house without you, with the promise that they would not be seen by anyone, and are just going around within the house itself. So with that, with our establishing question completed, then we'll move into today's episode. So now we come to the stillness of dawn beneath the weathered floorboards of this quaint cottage. Tiny mice, massive in scale to our floorboard folk, skittering about in the early morning light before the bigs awaken, stealing between the walls and along skirting inside the old weary house. The first soft rays of sunlight filter through the gaps in the outer stone walls, casting gentle, dappled patterns along the earthen floor as gigantic dust motes float through the streaming lights. The only sounds in this serene moment are the occasional rustling of leaves outside, carried in on a gentle breeze, and the distant cooing of mourning doves, which is quite loud for your small ears. It is a calm, gentle moment that seems to envelop the space in this hidden sanctuary that the Tuffets now call home. A sudden clanging noise reverberates around the space, jarring you awake as it seems to almost shake the floorboards above you.
I hate that thing.
I feel like it got louder. Somehow it's louder. Oh. Did we borrow any bitter coffee? I think I need that.
Gosh.
I managed to set something up the other day so that the when it was left there the other day, I managed to get some into some bottles and get it dripped down here. I sort of cord thing. Yeah, you check the pot in the kitchen.
And Pen goes, checks the pot. Oh, I think there's enough for today for us. Where's one out? Little. What would we
Drink
use
it
for cups?
sparingly.
Yes. We use for cups.
I don't know. You tell me. What do you use for cups?
Trying to look around. What speaks to me in my creative space? I guess maybe if there's like at some point like missing doll set pieces. Maybe we found one that had a cup. Maybe we grabbed like a little bottle cap. We just have like this mishmash of different found objects that we utilize for plates and cutlery. So I'm drinking from a little, like, even in our size, it seems a little small of a doll's teacup.
Yeah, it's like one of those like the really tiny cups, you know, that you sometimes drink tea from, but like extra tiny in your hands, which is a weird sensation to have because you're not used to things being too small for you. So you all enjoy fresh morning coffee as the ringing loud bells, which were not that loud before, but they finally fade away. And you know you only have a relatively short respite before the bells begin again because grandfather clocks are every 15 minutes.
Did it? So just as a, does it go off all night as well?
I believe so. One of my players in a campaign was staying with someone who had 2 grandfather clocks, and they were slightly off from each other. And it was literally every 15 minutes throughout the 3-hour game. So yes, it is continuous. I would assume that there's no mechanic to have it not go off at night, but you know, the bigs must be used to it being like their room must be very far away from this grandfather clock, so it doesn't bother them.
Right.
Also, they have big ears.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is true. It's not as quite as all-encompassing to them. So, what would you like to do?
Well, I suppose we gotta get supplies in order and maybe get a look at that clock as we figure out our plan.
Yes, I as I was working on some of the other plans for what I was going to be doing while you all went and took a look at the clock, I did have the opportunity to glance briefly out at it. It's very tall, but I jury-rigged my own harness and kind of I've sort of put together one or two for you, so that you can at least attach to each other and attach it as you go up, so you have kind of safe points, so you won't come back down.
What are these harnesses made out of? Out of curiosity.
So it's probably kind of one of those older projects that there's some elastic that's in the actual harness that connects to you, but it's very
Kind
short,
of like an elastic
a little
for
bit,
hair,
yeah, a little bit of a hairband. But there's also bits of like hair from like Eek and your other previous mouth that has been woven into some like fabric that is a little bit more robust, and that is building the main part of the harnesses. The hairband and stuff is only kind of the bits that need to be stretchy, so they're not too good. And then the bits of twine that's been collected over the years that have been kind of secured and sewn together and so on, and which wouldn't work for anything bigger than us, but it's all pretty sturdy for someone at the size.
For sure. I'm trying to think. Just for fun, I would like for you to roll resourceful.
Okay.
Just to see.
So that is my 2d6, and then my...
And then your resourceful modifier, yep.
Right, so that is a 6 and a 1 on the die, plus 6.
Okay.
So that is
Okay.
13.
13. You do what you intended to do, and not only are you able to construct these things, it takes less materials than you were expecting them to need. You found some rather large pieces of fabric that are just exactly the right size, like large in scale of 2-inch tall people, but they are exactly what you needed, and you didn't have to like piecemeal fabric together. Yeah, perfectly made. You also found little hooks that look like they used to be maybe for picture frames or something like that, to hang on a wall. And so you're able to use those as kind of like a hook, for example, if you need to catch on anything.
Yeah.
So perfect. Is there anything else that Brandy or Penn has collected in the last couple of suns that you would use to, say, help gum up the inner workings of this very loud box? What do you think?
I think because we would have had to do a kitchen run at some point to borrow crumbs for ourselves. We talked about honey, but I think maybe there might have also been like droplets of molasses. That would have been interesting too. So like a good mix of some sticky things for sure. Just so over time, Penn has been collecting up the like droplets and residue, collect them in like a thimble to try and keep them fairly like a fresh sticky so they don't harden and become like a candy of sorts. So just a borrowed thimble and then plastic wrap, keeping it all contained in a little thimble.
Yeah, you found this, you know how Bigs, when they tear off plastic wrap, there are always those little bits that go floating down. You managed to find one of those that was kind of along the baseboards in the kitchen, and it was not quite the right size, but you're able to kind of like smush things together to get it to be the right size to fit over.
I think Brandy would have adapted her backpack a little bit to hold all the sticky stuff so that it doesn't like all congeal together, and also found some more large pins with the little bobblehead on it to use for the scaling of the wall.
For sure. Interestingly, in the living room, you managed to find a couple of those, which seems like an odd location because looking around, you didn't see anything that the Bigs would have stuck them into. So it's like maybe they brought a project down here because you know that the craft room, Flory told you, is 1 story up. But apparently they were working on something, and there's this very big loud box in that living space, and so you found these underneath the low table there in that room. Okay, so Penn, I believe you would have gone scouting to look into more information, being our scout.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. So I would like for you to go ahead and scout then. This is going to be a test your memory. So you're going to roll 2d6 plus perceptive.
Okay. Gonna roll a little dice for this. So 4 and 3 is 7 plus 6 for my perceptive.
Incredible. So you in scouting out this space, and I'll give you some and feel free to add on to this. So you know that the loud clanging box is in the carpeted hall that leads off from the study that you live underneath. The walls are framed in a patterned wainscoting that is like twisting vines that maybe could be a thing that you could navigate to climb up. And you also remember that the Mantles had said that they managed to wedge the door in the front of this thing so that it's just slightly open so that you'd be able to access the inside of it. And also to give a little description, I feel like I need to zoom in on this picture for myself, but I have a picture of a really pretty grandfather clock. It is a very, very ornate piece of furniture. The doorway itself has clear glass, and so you're able to see all of these like long cylindrical metal pieces, and there is this large brass, like almost like a massive plate that just swings back and forth inside it. And you see in your scouting that there are several places like just ornate carving and like what looks like little pillars, massive pillars to you, going all the way up the structure.
Sounds lovely. If it wasn't so loud.
I'll send you guys the picture of this.
Yes.
Can I copy this from? I can. I'm going to go ahead and send this to you guys in Discord.
Yay.
Because I can.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yes. Haha. It is loading. In any case, so this is what you have scouted. Is there anything else that you would like to add to this since you rolled over our max?
Yeah, I'm just thinking these bigs feel like they are reclaimers of sorts of various things. So I'm imagining like the one window down the hall has these very uniquely patterned drapes, like long that reach to the floor, sort of like what it is in the clock here that picture you sent us, but sort of like an iridescence to them, almost a damask pattern that's very subtle. And it just has it on either side of the window, and then that like sort of drape at the top.
Okay.
And then along the walls and sort of scatteredness, there's different collections of photo frames and picture frames, all of them very different from each other, but also somehow work together in the space. And what else do I imagine here? Well, you mentioned there is, or we heard there is a creature in this space. So maybe there's like a little basket of those dog toys by the foot of the clock.
Yeah. So what the Mantles told you is that occasionally there will be a big that comes by that has a big scary creature, because when you're this small, anything bigger than you is a big scary creature, understandably. But it doesn't live here, but it visits very often. But yeah, I would see there being just like a nice wicker basket there, and there's a nice plush cushion and a couple of toys. And you saw that they were all kind of like smaller sizes, smaller. A couple of them look like they're relatively new and might be good for, say, a bed. If you were able to pull it down into the floorboards. There's one that looks like just a giant, again, quotes, raccoon that looks very, very cozy.
Delightful. Yeah, I regaled my friends of all the things that I saw. So yes, it looks like we have a pretty clear view of what the clanging thing is like. We're able to see the inside of it, which is good, so we can observe from afar before we get too close and time ourselves. I saw this sort of giant container of sorts with all these plush things. We might be able to maybe even borrow the stuffing inside them. That can make some really good like seating and sleeping spots with that. Maybe even we could borrow some of the strips of the material of the basket too, and like a little hidden spot. But yes, I say everything that I saw.
Yes. You're muted. Sorry.
Yeah. Right. Well, it seems like there's a relatively clear path, and I would suggest that before we do anything, we should go and check with Florrie and Stumble, because I do believe Stumble was going to go with you. Yes. But is this a nighttime job or is this a sun job?
Well, I know we were told that the bigs aren't around much during the day, and but there are sometimes one might pop in, and then they're really in and out in the evening.
Mhm.
So we could do either or.
Well, what is the situation in the hallway? Do we have light? Are there lots of windows? Because in which case, as I don't fancy having to also negotiate lights, I think perhaps it might be morning.
There is one complication that you know of during the daytime, during the sun, and that is that the bigs have this small robotic vacuum cleaner thing that is just constantly making circuits of the lower levels when they're out. And it's convenient in that they leave the doors open to all of the rooms, but you have to keep an eye out for that because you're small enough that it might think that you're something to clean up.
Yeah, that's a bit terrifying. Need to be a daredevil to decide, oh, you know what, I'm going to pay attention to its arc, catch it, and see if we can ride it over.
Well, you know what? You could always try to hitch a ride on it.
Oh, God. I think if you hitched a ride on it, I'd never want to get off for fear of getting off at the wrong time.
Yep.
Or the wrong direction.
Yeah, just we jump, it turns.
Oh, no.
So we have to figure out a time. Did you work out how long it takes to get from the door to the study? I assume that's the way we're going, or do we have we identified some spaces in the hallway that have access points from down here?
Well, if you would like to try your luck, maybe there's a convenient bolt hole in the hallway.
Sure. Roll lucky. Okay. I rolled a 4 and a 3. +2? But I don't know what the success was.
Math. 4 plus 3 is 7. So that's a 9.
Yeah.
On a result of 9 or lower, you don't get lucky and what you want doesn't happen. However, your lucky score doesn't change.
Okay.
So your score stays at 2, but unfortunately, there isn't a convenient bolt hole right in the hallway, and you do have to go at it from the study itself.
Right. Okay, from the study. Well, then we must make sure that the big loud moving thing is in the far room from us when we need to get down the hallway.
Yeah, and there are several rooms on the ground level. There's as you've explored a little bit over time, you have the kitchen and you have the study. The living room is there as well, and there's another small a bathroom that is in the hallway too. So there are a couple of rooms down here, and then the large looming staircases leading up to the upper floor.
Is it one of those curved ones?
Sure, it's a curved one now.
Banister. Yeah. Love those.
You have willed it into existence. It is a
Excellent.
curved banister staircase.
Very cute.
Okay, so what would you all like to do in this case?
I think
dawdling. Let's just go.
All right, so I guess go now in the daytime, try and time it for the thing down and into the other room, and also timing with the chimes. Oh, we got to make sure we have our wax with us.
That will be very important, because if you're in there when the loud clangy chimes go off, that is not going to be fun.
No. Yes, so let's go collect Stumble and let's get to it.
Okay.
So I guess we climb back up up to the closest point of entrance into the study that is nearest to the mantles, and then scurry over, or perhaps one of us goes first, and we'll kind of knock and then kind of duck into a little hidden bit if there's no.
Yep. So I would say, Spinnaker, this is probably you taking this on. So you head on down into the Mantle's home, and they have a couple of those fairy lights lit up, but it's still relatively early. And they are both just sitting at their table, the nice CD, because I saw my mod in the chat, the demo CD that has the cork through it, and they both have what looks to be like carved out wooden cups that maybe they got one of those Jenga. Sorry, I said the thing. Those tumbling block things as well, and they managed to carve out little cups from them. And Flory just kind of cheers at you. Oh, hi there. Nice to see you back.
Yes, it is very good to be back. I have so many ideas for our projects, and projects which you showed me the other time. But Stumble, I believe that we are ready to go ahead and tackle that banging and clanging.
Right. Yes. Okay. I can do that. And he looks over to Flory, and you can tell that he's a little bit nervous. Right. So we're going to do it in the daytime. Okay. You've collected all the things that you said you were going to collect? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. I have a couple of things, and he kind of goes around in the room and finds what looks to be like double-sided sticky something that he's just like, we can use these to grip up if we need to. I have these mitts that Flory made that we can like use to grab up and kind of climb up a little bit if we need them.
Ooh, very inventive. I like it.
Flory just grins at you and says, "Well, thanks. I'm always crafting something or other."
I know the feeling.
Mm-hmm. He kind of just gives a little to you. Well, good luck with the venture. Be careful. And he just sets his hand on Stumble's hand here. Be careful. And Stumble just shakes himself. It's like, we always are. I always am. It's fine. We'll be okay. We can do this. And then there will be no more loud banging noises out. That will be perfect.
Yes.
Right then. Okay. And he just grabs the little satchel that he has all of the sticky double-sided tapes in and says, so shall we? It's right around the time when the bigs leave. I think that they're... And he thinks about it. Yes, they will definitely be out today unless something's changed. You never know with them. But it should be okay. Hopefully. Yes.
Do you know where they usually start that loud rotating thing?
Oh, it's not long after they leave. It normally starts in the kitchen and then works its way around. I judge that we probably have, with those loud clanging noises, we probably have 4 or 5 of that sound before it gets to the hallway.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yes. Okay, so what I need for all of you to do now is that we, for this expedition, are going to try your luck. So first of all, who has the highest luck number here?
I have 3.
3.
Okay, so 3 it is. So each one of you rolls 1d6, and we will take the 2 highest rolls plus 3.
All right.
Ooh, 6.
3.
4.
So 6 and 4, 13 total. Let's see. Oh, wait, I created a thing for this. Okay. So each room has a different state of change, like table, basically. So in some rooms, it's much more difficult for there to be extra complications. Some rooms, it's much easier. And so on a, did we say 13?
Yeah.
Yeah, on a 13, that was the lowest number for no change. So no added complications. Oh my goodness.
Because it's already a pretty complicated task.
It
Yeah.
is. But also it's a very public space in the Biggs house because this is one of the most commonly frequented spaces to get from wherever else they need to go to the next room. And so just a little bit of added complication there. So you make your way out into the study leading towards this hallway space here, and you hear that loud emptiness of this very large space. Looking around, you see that once again one of the bigs has left their very large to you teacup, coffee cup, like fancy little cup, porcelain cup on the sideboard in this room again. You get the sense that this is a habit. They very often leave this cup here. And you can see through that porcelain with the little flower design that it's only about halfway drunk. And there's a little bit of steam still coming off of it, but it seems to have gone cold or starting in that. Is there anything that you do as you're going from room to room to get into the hallway here?
I'm looking for little trinkets, maybe, just to grab quick. Throw in the bag.
Roll plus perceptive for me.
Oh gosh. 7.
A 7. So looking around, you are trying to see if there's anything that you could possibly borrow or find on the carpet here. And usually in the past couple of suns that you've seen, there are like little crumbs and things. But this time it actually seems to be relatively clean, which is interesting because that loud, worry, scary machine has not come around yet. It's like the room hasn't been used much in the past day, beyond the cup of coffee that you spotted. Unfortunately, you just don't see anything of use here. You see that there are a couple of crumbs, but they have been completely crushed and are unusable to you. They never think about the little ones. But yes, so you continue along. Is there anything that Penn or Spinnaker wants to do here?
I think as we're going, knowing that the bigs are out at this point,
Mhm.
I think Penn's just trying to pay attention to anything within relative reach. Like if it needs to be climbed up to a little bit is fine. But if there's any like noticeable, like if there's a loose paperclip that we spot on like a lower shelf of like a bookcase or I'm trying to think of like what things we could possibly take from a study for this. Maybe if there's any like loose threads as well, just to add to our thread pile for potential future rope extension.
Well, I'm just picturing like there are carpets in most of the rooms here, and you could like pluck at that carpet edge just a little bit, just take a little bit at a time. They think that their carpet's going threadbare, but really it's just you stealing a little bit of thread.
Yes.
So I would say just to determine how much you get, roll plus resourceful.
All right. Oh, 5 and 5 plus 1 is 11.
11. Okay, you get a decent amount. You worry that maybe it might be a little bit too much. So you see that you could take more. It's like continuing to go, but you decide that it's time to stop. And you, how do you snip it?
Oh, I would imagine there was probably either a rock that maybe Spinnaker helped fashion to make it a little sharper so we can cut through things that need to be cut through. So I have this little sharp sort of quote unquote dagger that Spinnaker crafted for me.
Okay. So you manage to snip that, and it's like a bright red thread that's thick in your hands, but you wrap that around and swing it over your shoulder and continue on into the hallway. And you hear that thunk, thunk, thunk of the grandfather clock. It's something that you're used to. It's a very loud rhythmic noise, and you've been here many suns now, and so it's almost like seeped into your bones at this point. And you continue along down the hallway ever closer to this clock, and you spot out of the corner of your eye that small robotic little machine making its way into the hallway from the kitchen. And Stumble just kind of jerks back. Oh no, it came out sooner than I was expecting. What are you guys going to do to avoid this vacuum cleaner? Oh, you muted.
Sorry, I keep forgetting that I'm muted. I keep saying stuff and then I'm just do we have a clear like a path that's around the side of the walls or that interacts with the corners?
Yeah, I would say so, yes.
I think it's kind of dip past and then hide between, like if it comes too close, hide between the gap between the door and the
door frame?
Yes. Yeah, kind of hide in that spot or squeeze through that spot if it comes too close to get to the other side, as well as kind of dipping in and out of the main area when possible. Or if there's a carpet or rug in this room, just kind of dipping under the rug. It's going to be painful.
Yeah, it'll be a little squishy.
Ooh.
Better than getting hoovered up if you're caught in the middle.
This is true.
And then hanging on.
Okay, so I'm going to say I need everyone, depending on what plan of action you want to do, I need you to either roll plus agile or plus sturdy. And describe where you're going as you duck out of the way.
Yeah, I think for Penn and they're going to go agile, and they're actually going to try and scamper up onto like that baseboard, just get up above the lip, because depending on how tall that is, the device would not be sucking up from up there.
Yeah.
All right, so 6, my agile 6, so that's 12.
Okay, you successfully manage to do what you wanted to do. And as you hop up there, looking around, because you rolled a 12 plus, you get an extra benefit or advantage. So as you get up out of its way, you notice that with the trajectory that it's going, because this thing is erratic. You never know which direction it's going to go. It's just constantly turning in weird ways. With like the critters that live under the floorboards with you, at least you can understand what they're doing. Even the bigs make sense. This thing makes no sense at all where it's going. But you see that it's starting to shift and turn, and I've never owned one of these machines. I don't know how they work. But I'm going to say that you notice that there is a button on the top that if you wanted to stop it, you could try jumping onto it to get it to stop moving.
Throwing a venture in my face. I think I can do it. I think I can stop this, everyone.
What are you doing? Don't do it.
I can jump on it. It just has to come by. I can jump on it.
Oh.
So before we get, before we get to
sorry.
that, yes.
So it's like, oh, be careful. Well, possibly I can prop up the rug on one side to kind of stop it going from that side, and then direct it back to you. But are you sure about this?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be fine. I got this.
Oh, I can't look. Brandy's going behind a table leg, right, a wall in the table leg, and just hanging on it. Eyes closed.
Okay, you're not going to need to roll anything for that. That's something that you can do. No problem at all.
So,
okay.
Benica is going to use the cane, the modified kid's fork, to kind of lift the edge of the rug that is closest to Pen, so that if and kind of wedge it underneath and then hobble over to the edge on the other side of the room, behind the same table possibly.
Yeah.
So that if the device comes that way, it'll be blocks from carrying on, and then we'll go closer to Pen.
Okay. This is gonna be resourceful again. That makes the most sense. Go ahead and roll resourceful.
Okay, it's a 4 and a 5 plus 6. So
okay. Incredible. It is like there's just like a really nice grain of wood that makes it so that you're able to wedge that kid's fork in perfectly, so that it won't move at all, and the tines are sticking just slightly into the bottom of the carpet, so that it absolutely is not going to budge. It might take a little bit of effort to remove it again, but
that's what we have Brandy for. Sorry.
Yep, that is what you have Brandy for. Okay, and so you join Brandy hiding behind that space. So, Pen,
Yes.
describe to us what you would like to do here.
All right. So I'm just breathing as like I'm preparing my body against the wall that I'm standing against on the baseboard, ready to like just throw my body forward in a big leap as the device comes in front of me. Just timing it so I can just basically try and get onto like the center of it.
Okay. I'm picturing like the cinematic moment where it's like the leap into midair and the sound slows down and like the movement slows down, you know? So as you leap forward right as it comes by, I need you to roll. What do you think? Would it be agile? I think agile makes the most sense,
Agile?
but
okay.
You're welcome to suggest another one if you think that it applies better.
I'm not going to argue because agile is one of my best stats.
Okay.
Rolling
ahead and
little
roll
die for
agile.
this. Okay, awesome. 6 and 3 is 9 plus 6.
Okay.
15.
Incredible.
My
So,
adrenaline for adventure nudges me forward.
So you leap forward, that slow motion sound and motion goes forward as the camera pans around you, and you have a moment where you think, oh no, it's going to turn, and you land dead center right next to the button, and you have to grip on tight as it turns and starts moving in another direction.
All right, I'm on it.
It is very fast paced. It is very, very fast. It is one of the fastest things you've ever ridden. And it's very loud and whirring because you're right on top of it.
Yeah, I just feel like I'm like bouncing and rumbling. It's like, guys, I'm on it.
I think you can barely hear them over the sound of it. But
Yeah.
Like, can you find out how to turn it off?
I think there's a button.
Oh Lord.
Do it quickly so you're safe.
Okay. I'm gonna try and maneuver my backpack a little bit because I feel the surface space. My backpack might be better than my hand, and just sort of try and like shoulder like down into it.
Okay. And I'm going to have you roll sturdy for this just to get that depression of like the acorn backpack pressing down onto this button.
All right. Okay. That is 7 plus 3 is 10.
Okay. 10. You do what you intended to do. Describe what it looks like.
Yeah, so in a moment where I guess the device is coming to like a wall and is stopping as it thinks to turn, I take that second to prop myself up and just sort of WWE wrestle, like slam down with my shoulder and backpack. Just like,
My mouth was full of water. And you do this WWE style slam down in, and as the acorn smashes into this button, you hear this very loud around you, and then the entire machine slows and stops.
You
I still
killed
feel-
it! Yay!
Yay! I am very shaky.
Yeah, it's like rumble strips. You know how your entire body is
Yep.
vibrating a little bit. Yeah, that's you're going to have that for a little while. And with your amazing, resounding success in stopping this evil cleaning machine, I think that that's a good place for us to take a 10-minute break. So let's see. Oh, I'm on the wrong tab. I need to read the things. So we're going to take a 10-minute break. We run ads and all that jazz. It's a good time. Don't forget to hydrate, as I always say, hydrate or die straight. And take your meds if you need them. And don't forget to subscribe to the Twitch channel and the YouTube channel. It helps us out. And we have tons of amazing shows that you should definitely watch. But we will be back in 10 minutes. So we will see you then. Bye. Hello, and we're back. So we are here on Girls Run the World playing Under the Floorboards. Don't forget that there is a giveaway going on for a digital copy of the game from Chris Bissett. So if you want to join that giveaway, do !floorboards with an S on the end in the chat to enter to win that copy. We have copies for all of our episodes, including a physical copy for our finale, our 6th episode. So you should definitely check that out too. Last we left off, the Tuffets and oh shoot, I've forgotten his name. Stumble.
Stumble.
Yes, Stumble is there. our 2-inch tall floorboard folk had made their way into the hallway of the Biggs house, trying to stop the loud clanging noises of the new grandfather clock that they have installed in their house. There was a scary small robotic vacuum cleaner thing just whirring around, and our wonderful Pen got the bright idea to jump up onto it and press the big button to get it to stop. And that is where we stopped. So the scary worry machine is no more. It has been defeated. And Stumble, peeking out from behind the dog bed, just looks and goes, "Oh, thank goodness. I never would have done that. Well done."
Thanks. As I'm like clambering down and like coming back, but I'm very like visibly still vibrating. Well, it was quite a ride.
Was it fun?
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Very different experience.
Oh,
Very surreal. You feel it just all through your body is like
Ooh.
getting shocked but without the pain.
Oh dear. It
fascinating.
doesn't sound like something that I'd repeat. It is an interesting bit of equipment. I wonder if after kind of retrieving their cane, if they could just take a look underneath now that it's off. You're muted.
Thank you. My dog is snoring a little bit, so I've
Oh.
been muting myself. That's an interesting one. I would say perceptive makes the most sense here because it's spot, notice, intuit, or predict.
Okay.
So I feel like perceptive. Because this isn't fixing, otherwise it'd be resourceful.
Okay, I added to my perceptive as well last time. So that's a
Mhm.
6 plus a 3 plus 4. So 30. Can I add? No,
13.
12.
6,
No,
3, 4. It's a 13.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Yeah.
Because
Yes,
6 and
13.
4 is 10 and the 3 is 13.
Yeah. I was like, can I math? Maybe not.
Did you enjoy the visual of how I was like, I
Yeah.
had the 6, the 3, and the 4, and then they anyway. Okay, so you do what you intended to do, and you get an extra benefit or advantage. So first of all, describe to us what Spinnaker is doing here. What do they uncover? What are they looking for? And I'll give you a little extra.
So I think Spinnaker is just like, oh, this is an interesting piece of equipment. It's not something that we could use, but maybe those bristles might be useful. Maybe there's something in there that we can repurpose for ourselves. Or maybe there's something that we can kind of disable a little bit underneath, so that it's less of a terrifying prospect. So,
Ooh, I would say if this is what you want to do, I could certainly see Spinnaker doing something to slow the machine down
mhm.
so that it's a little less erratic in its movements. And it's easier to be like, oh, okay, it's going over here. I'll just be over here. And you don't have to worry quite as much. So it would take another roll. But
Okay.
if Spinnaker would like to do that, they see a spot. I don't know how these machines work. They see a spot where they could maybe like stretch something out or cause something to gum up the works a little bit, so to speak.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I'll do that. What would I be rolling for that?
I feel like because this doesn't have a description in any of these, I feel like resourceful will make the most sense.
Yeah, resourceful.
Yeah,
Reason?
because you have fix in there, and so fix also could be destroy.
Okay. Oh, that is not a good roll.
Oh no.
Well, it's still an 11 because I have
Okay.
6 resourceful, but I rolled a 4 and a 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, on an 11, you just don't get anything extra. So describe to us what Spinnaker does with this machine that's like you're able to like duck underneath it and look at all of the machinery, which would be a scary prospect to do, but you know that it's turned off.
Yes. So Spinnaker kind of pulls themselves underneath and kind of gently like pops the fork in again just
Mhm.
to like add a little bit of a thing. It is kind of dark, but I think that they probably have like little bits of like you know the glow sticks, but they have like
Yeah.
tiny, like they've managed to harvest some of the stuff from them and have like tiny little glow sticks so they can see underneath it.
I love that.
They go, oh, okay, so it's probably collected some thread at some point. So what they
Mhm.
do, and maybe also picked up an elastic band, they kind of
Mm.
wind that around one of the arms that spin underneath it
Yeah.
and connect it to like underneath one of the cages that houses the wheels. So
Mhm.
it just kind of every time it's going to try and move, it's just straining against that a bit, so it slows that
Mhm.
down.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love that. So you complete this and get back out from underneath the big scary machine.
I'm going to take some bristles as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Don't even have to roll for that. You can absolutely take some of the bristles. No problem. And you know that, the bigs are going to come back and they'll be like, oh, okay, need to push the button. But it's stopped for now, for however long it is that they are out of the house.
Yeah.
So you do not have that threat in your way in the direction going towards the grandfather clock, which at this moment begins to chime very loudly, and it almost like shakes you in your bones. Not as much as Penn has been shaken by the machine that they jumped up onto, but still, all the same, it is not a pleasant sound.
Oh, wax time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yes, because you managed to get little bits of wax last time from a candle in the study. And so you are able to roll those little bits and like stick them into your tiny ears. Communicating with each other might be challenging, but you do have some hand signs and things like that of times that you were not able to audibly communicate because bigs were on the move. So you're still able to communicate in that way. So you stand there before the clock's towering brass pendulum as it swings back and forth, back and forth. The rhythmic tick-tock of the mechanisms reverberate throughout this wooden frame. You see that slightly ajar doorway and Stumble like gestures to it as well and begins climbing up to that space. And looking around up at the inner workings of this grandfather clock, it appears almost mesmerizing with the glint of the sun on the brass bits that are hanging down. It's like a bustling city almost within this carved wooden space. And what would you all like to do?
Start climbing. I want to get in there.
Yeah, I guess but Spinnaker's probably going to be taking a look at these hanging bits and see if they have anything to do with it. Are they moving currently?
They're shifting ever so slightly. If I remember correctly, these are weights.
Mm-hmm.
So
I guess they'll be pondering those and seeing if there's any way that this might make a difference to the thing, or whether it's got to be all the way up at the top.
Well, we see the pendulum disc thing that's tick-tocking away. Maybe whatever that might be attached to.
Yeah.
It's like quite a journey, though.
mm-hmm.
Yes. Are there any kind of notches or ridges at the back of that compartment?
I'm just going to look at this beautiful picture. I would say that the back of the compartment itself the nice wood-ish, but it's like a lacquer veneer kind of thing.
Right.
And so it's a little bit slippery. I mean, if you wanted to roll a luck check to see,
I am bad at these.
you certainly can.
Oh, I said that, and then I rolled 2 5s.
Okay.
I have a 2 to add to that. So
There
I
you
guess my
go.
lucky is going down.
It is. However, on a result of 10 plus, you get lucky. The world is as you need it to be.
Yay.
So as you climb up into this glass-faced section of the grandfather clock, you look behind those hanging brass weights, and you see that indeed there is kind of like a ridged pattern to it, that like they're little carved out bits that kind of are a ripple that you would be able to latch onto and climb up.
Yeah, I think Spinnaker is going to point this out to the rest of them and kind of try and throw and catch some of the hooks on them, so that there's a bit of a path to kind of hook onto and climb up.
Okay, so you do this, hooking them up as you go. Are you like treating them like I'm forgetting how to say this, pitons, where you're like pseudo hammering them in to create a path?
So
like rock climbing.
Less that. I think it's more of a kind of so the ones that Spinnaker has are attached to some string.
Okay.
And they will throw them up to catch on that ledge and try and like just use their admittedly tiny body weight to see if it's secure, and then we'll try and like attach it. I don't know if anyone else wants to go up first, but to see if they can secure them. But they're basically just creating lines that are there as like they'll say, so that people can be clipped to them.
Yeah, so a little bit more like grappling hooks,
kind
of thing. Okay, so I'm gonna say, go ahead. Let's see, double check. Throw. Go ahead and roll sturdy for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, a 6 and a 4 plus 2, so 12.
12. You do what you intended to do, and you get an extra benefit. So you've already described it. You're swinging these hooks up to a little ledge to create a line for people to climb up. And you tell me, but I feel like maybe Brandy, you would go first. What do you think?
Probably, yeah.
Just because you're the sturdy transporter type, like you're used to making sure that things are a little bit more secure because you're the sturdiest of the bunch.
And I can help them up too if they're struggling.
Okay, so you describe to me, paint a picture. What does Brandy do here?
She probably just learns from Spinnaker how to clip on and make it work, and just goes for it. Just, if it doesn't work, what's the worst that can happen?
This is true. Okay, so just for fun, just for fun, go ahead and roll enduring for me, as climbing is related to that.
6, 10.
10. So you do what you intended to do. So nothing fancy, but think of the Dread Prior Roberts at the Cliffs of Insanity, like climbing up that rope, just hand over hand, getting up to the top. And you see that you are probably about halfway up these weights, and you see that there are like intricate patterns carved into them. Like there's spaces in some of the tops of these weights, and you can also see further up in that there are chains that they're hanging from, and so that might be something. It'll take a little bit of a jump to hook into it, but those chains lead further up into the inner workings of this machine.
Excellent.
So who's next?
It's easy. Come on. You can do it.
All right.
You're shouting this, and all they can hear is because they have wax in their ears.
I guess Penn will try and go and make sure, being swift and agile and all that fun stuff, scamper their way up. Just leaving any additional threading that could be useful for different points. Especially the carpet threading, because I think it has like an interesting friction to it that makes it easy to grab onto, just for extra safety. And then just getting all the way up to meet Brandy.
For sure. So go ahead and roll enduring then.
Enduring, okay. Ooh, that's 3 and 3 plus 2, 8.
8. You do what you intended to do, but with a complication or a cost. So what do you think? It says that I describe what happens, but it's so much more fun to hear what you think the complication or cost is as you're climbing up there.
So I'm imagining climbing up, feet planting on the back of the wall to get up there. But at some point, there must have been like a little sliver or something that's sticking out, and it catches my pant leg, and I just go and trying to shift, and I'm not moving. I'm like, I'm caught. But of course we're wax eared, so it's just like, and everyone just sees me like trying to pull my leg up and down, like almost doing an air like Danzosaurus, trying to get my leg free.
So what do you all do to help dear Penn here?
How far up are they?
Probably about halfway up to you. And there's one hook here. I would say that Spinnaker, you said that you hooked 2 in?
Yeah, I did, like, as much as was feasibly easy for me to reach what I'm throwing, right?
So in that case, Brandy, if you wanted to, you could scale back down to help Penn here. And this is not going to require a roll, so describe how you help them.
Wait, I have my hands on the rope. Just like massive gesture to my leg with a splinter going through my pant.
Just grab it, pull the pant leg.
Yep.
Rip it up.
Yep, there's a little bit of a tear as you get the splinter out. And the splinter is actually free, and you have a nice little lacquered bit of splinter that you can pocket. It's a little bit sharp, maybe a little bit too sharp. You got to be careful with that.
Speaking of the Dread Pirate Roberts, hold it in between my teeth. My hands are busy. So
this is true.
Yeah.
Okay. And I would say that Stumble looks at these ropes, looks down at his satchel, and he grabs out those double-sided tapes, and he's just like, and he's just going to start making his way up using the double-sided tape. And
he's a little gecko.
He's a little gecko. And he gets up, and then he looks over to the weights and looks down at Spinnaker. Spinnaker, are you joining them?
I probably need an extra line or something to get, because my legs are not strong.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if there's another rope. If
there are the
when
two.
You're at the top, there's the two.
Mm-hmm.
But
and we've established Penn has a lot of thread that we can use. They always keep a bunch of thread in their pack.
So if you were to throw me another line that I can attach to myself, and then I'll try and pull myself up with some aid. So
yeah.
So
that is absolutely doable. So Penn, you throw the line down to Spinnaker?
Yes.
So I'll clip it to my harness as well as the others, and that one, like, maybe you can provide some extra pull just to take a little bit of the weight off, so I can pull myself up.
Yeah. So I would say I have, for anyone watching who's like, why is Anya looking up all the time? It's because I have everything taped above me. I would say Penn, roll sturdy, and Spinnaker, I'm just going to look at the things, roll enduring.
Okay. Ooh.
So I got 11 total.
Okay.
I got 5 plus 2, so 7.
Okay. 7. So
I think you're doing most of the work.
yeah, the way that I would describe this, and you both feel free to describe how you work together here. But yes, Penn would be like aiding a little bit extra. So while you do what you intended, the complication is in part that Penn is definitely having to help you a little bit extra, I would say. So feel free to describe that as you want.
So I think what happens is that I good initially with that, but I'm kind of pulling myself, and I get a bit stuck, and in that kind of like, oh, I can't pull myself up anymore, in the like, just not actively stuck on something, just, you know, when your arms are like, oh, I'm holding myself, but they're gonna give out, and so I'm kind of looking up going.
And Penn, seeing that, they'll kind of pull the rope over whatever like little pick that we have, and act as a weight as they sort of push off and let themselves drop with the rope to send Spinnaker up.
Perfect.
Yeah, so just like as it passed by, I'm like,
yeah. And this added weight shifts the scales, so to speak, to get Spinnaker all the way up to the top as well. And Penn, easily enough after that, you're able to follow back up the line once more.
Is that like...
yeah.
As a thanks, because you can't hear them, obviously.
And
But
so
I'm looking
go
at those
ahead.
weights going, next time, maybe we could have used those weights instead.
Maybe. But looking around now, you're all kind of on this rather narrow, even for you, ledge up at the top of this casing, and you're kind of looking down at those weights now, and you can see those chains that Brandy saw going up into the inner workings of the grandfather clock, and that does seem the best way. Looking at this, messing with the weights themselves, they are to you very large and very heavy. So it's not necessarily something there that you could mess with, but you feel like there's something more up above that you could do something with. And I would say that Stumble, looking around, like he unsticks one hand and just kind of waves it and gestures over to the weights and kind of does a little shrug.
Is the hole that they go up into, are they like slots so they go backwards to the back wall of it, or is it just like little round holes that the specific weights come into?
I feel like it would be, because there's so many of them, I feel like it would be kind of like a rectangle. And so there's space enough for you all to climb your way up to go. It's kind of the same situation that Penn had previously, where there's like a little ledge and then going up. So it might be a little bit tricky to actually get up to that point. So you can either try to climb up the walls. Say Stumble did bring plenty of that double-sided tape, just for example. Or you could try to jump across to the weights. I saw that expression of disbelief. Or maybe there's something else that you all can think of that I have not thought of.
Spinnaker is not jumping. That's not a thing.
Fair.
Brandy would love to jump, but she knows better. Yeah.
Penn is super tempted.
Of course they are.
What about if we've got any extra rope and tape? Like seeing if you can kind of lasso it around one of those chains to kind of swing yourself over.
Could be an option.
Or yeah, I mean, sticking to the wall is possibly the best idea to get up there, but like doing that upside down is not a great prospect.
We would know that the chains would be sturdy to climb on because they're holding these weight things. So. And they got handholds.
Yeah. Okay. How about this? We've now fully established Penn will jump onto things. We tie a rope around Penn, give him some little sticky hands so that when they jump, they can just latch on and not have to worry about actually gripping. They can just gecko latch.
Yep.
And then we have that rope that is tied around them that everyone else can hang on to. And that way, when Penn gets up, they can like make a anchor point.
Okay.
Or we could swing over to the chains.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. If that's what you think is best, then okay. And Spinnaker will kind of try and hammer like a little you know those kind of screw hook hood
Mm.
eye
Yeah.
pin type things. We'll kind of like shove one into the back as much as they possibly can. Of course, it's not as securely as we could do, but
Yeah.
like, and then we'll like try and tie off the rope to that. So
Okay. I like that. I'm just picturing the Bigs like trying to figure out what's happening to this grandfather clock, and they peek around and they're like, when did that get put there? Although I'm assuming that you're going to take it back, because why would you
yeah.
leave something
Oh
there?
yeah,
you
no,
know?
can't leave
But
anything.
there's a tiny
useful
little
behind.
hole.
Is that always there?
So you screw this little eyelet into the back. It takes a little bit of effort because you're balancing a little bit on this ledge here, but you do manage to get it wedged in there and tie off this rope. And I'm assuming when you were talking, you like pop out one of the earbuds to be like, this is what we're going to do, and then stick it back in. And this is taking quite a bit of time. And so another round of bells resounds, and it is even louder in here. You feel
Definitely
it so much.
holding on to that eyelet that we just
Yes. But it finally ends, and you know, like your hearts are hammering in your chest, but you're like, okay, we have a little bit of time now, we're fine. And you tie off the rope on this eyelet, and Stumble hands you the double-sided tape to stick to your hands. You don't clap because then they would be stuck to each other. Can you imagine? Like, yes, we're good. Oh.
Yeah, I'm about to like, oh wait.
And with all of this planning through, I would say I think that it's time for Pen to roll enduring, as you're going to once again jump.
Yeah, jump in.
I
Let's
really need you to
go.
draw Pen just like leaping across long distances.
All right, so that is 8 total on the die plus 2, so 10.
A 10. You do what you intended to do. Describe what it looks like.
Yeah, so Pen is there. He's waiting for the moment where the chain is about to like pull the weight up to go into the entryway of sorts. So as that movement goes, they've already stepped back a little bit, pretty much against the back of the clock as they go into that running motion again. But they go into like almost a full like frog leap, arms like hands ready, like to just full palm grasp the chain.
And you reach forward and like a gecko just stick, and you sag down a little bit from this, and you have a moment of as you kind of swing back and forth ever so slightly, but you quite literally stuck the landing.
Yeah.
And so you have this rope hanging from you that's attached to this eyelet. What would the rest of you like to do?
I'm trying to think if it's feasible for my bag to be big enough to have another one of them, but that's like has an open like.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I think I'd kind of like slip it over the line and send it over to Pen, and kind of point up, as in go put this up there as the anchor.
I had a moment where I wanted to go, oh, let me grab a visual because I cosplayed Arietti and I have the bag and the rope here.
Oh,
But
Yeah.
unnecessary. There's enough room in your bag for it. So, Pen, you go and you attach the other eyelet, correct? Wanted to make sure that I understood correctly.
Yes. So, the idea would be like as they're on the chain, trying to get up to that lip to get over and get it situated.
Yeah, and easily enough, now that you're here and based on your role, you're able to climb up that chain, and it's very easy going now because you have footholds. It's very lovely. And you're able to climb up, and there's just a little bit of a hop over to the ledge here. So you're able to do that and screw in another eyelet to the wall there. String the rope up and create kind of the system to get everyone else up, which makes it so that there are no checks required to clamber on up into this section of the clock. And as you all one by one make your way up into this main section, this tallest point of the clock here, you see that there are gears everywhere, each one enormous and intricately meshed with the next, that are rotating in this, especially to Spinnaker, I would say, rather enthralling like dance of just perfect precision here. There you see below the massive weights suspended from the chains, steadily descending and rising. Everything has its place and moves with an ease and grace that honestly is rather magical to watch. But you're here to destroy that magicalness. What would you like to do?
What about just the thing that makes the noise?
I don't know enough about the inner workings of clocks to be like, this is the part that makes the noise.
Yeah. I think
if it were like an alarm clock with the two bells, it'd be like, well, just destroy the mallet.
Yeah. I guess it's that kind of thing of Spinnaker now having seen it going, oh, why would we want to stop this? This is fascinating. But obviously stop the noise, but sorry, break this. Yeah.
Hey, maybe we can take some of the smaller disc-toothed things when we're done.
Yes, but we need to be careful about that because, well, we can't move anything until we've managed to get it to stop. And to get it to stop, well...
Aha, I have an answer. Roll a perceptive check for me, Spinnaker.
Okay. Ooh. Okay, so that is 8 on the die plus a 4. Yeah.
Okay, so 12. Looking around at all of the mechanisms here, according to the power of Google, you see that pendulum moving back and forth. You see the weights shifting, and you watch as that pendulum is swinging. You see that the gears and things that are attached to it are all shifting in turn. And that's also making everything else, like you can see the face of the clock from the back side here, and you can see everything kind of shifting and making it move. And you realize that everything is connected. And so the only way to stop the actual noise is to stop the entire thing.
It's such a shame.
At least according to Google, that's the case.
Okay. Sorry, I got slightly distracted because I noticed that my captions were gone. But I guess it's kind of pack rummaging time. You have the goopy, sticky stuff. I'm trying to think what a tool to get it in place without any of us getting caught in it.
That is definitely a concern.
Well, Brandy just picked up that it's now in her mouth, the cylinder.
Yeah. No, that's a fantastic idea.
Forgot about that.
It's just sitting there.
Just So you have the splinter of varnish wood bit. I'm forgetting the words right now. Anyway, you have the splinter, a little bit shiny. If you wanted to say chuck it into the gears, you could give it a try.
Well, I wonder if coating it first would be the best.
Like a dollop of stickiness on the end.
Yes. Yeah. Or well, a dollop of stickiness on the end if we're going to just be kind of trying to like put the sticky bits on the various gears. But if we're actively going to get it into the system, then perhaps we cover the most of it and try and get as much stickiness into that entire gear system.
Yes, yes.
How attached are you to this stick?
I'll survive.
Okay.
We'll get another one.
Covering it here.
And at this point, like, you're on a much wider ledge than the one that you were on before. So like you have room to spread things out and get things organized. And so you spread all of the various gooey sticky substances that you've been safeguarding this whole time onto this. And Brandy?
I get as close as I can to the nearest bunch of gears and other flicky things. I don't know. And
okay, I'm going to say what would make the most sense. Oh, reasoned has construct in it. Good to know. Interesting that construct and fix are in different categories. So I would say roll resourceful.
Is there any way that any of us can assist with that?
Absolutely. What would you like to do to assist?
Maybe just kind of the assistance is more of a kind of, okay, we've got you in case like you go too far out. So we've now like attached rope to your harness. So if you're going a little bit further out, we can pull you back.
Okay.
In that turn. So just providing you some more security so you have more confidence to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And leaning forward and
yeah.
I would say because as far as I'm aware, there's no help mechanic here. I would say go ahead and roll. If you're going to be like holding steady, it's going to be a sturdy roll. And if you roll a 10,
But is it sturdy if it's like looped through the hook we already have to provide a counterbalance? Like, is it?
Then I will allow you to roll reasoned instead for convince. If you roll a 10 plus, then Brandy gets to add one extra number to the roll.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Oh wait, no. I was like, oh, it's a bad roll on the dice, except I have 4. So it's an 11.
Okay. 11. Okay. So with this reassuring that you've got Brandy, that you're there for them, Brandy, you get to add 1 to your check to see if you manage to gunk up the system here.
All right.
Let's see how you do.
This is with enduring, right?
Yes.
All right, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Nice.
12 plus. You do what you intended to do with a flourish. So describe to me, those are my words, not what's in the book. Anyway, describe to me what you do here and I will add to it.
Oh gosh, I instantly went to animation in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, the leaning forward and the little toss and watching the stick go over and over and then landing point down right into wherever.
So it crunches through the gears ever so slightly as it's going forward. But in the grand scheme of things, it's a rather small stick. To you, it's large, but and so as it's going through from gear to gear, you watch as more and more of that molasses and honey and other things just kind of begins to gook things up ever so slightly until it just strikes down into a particularly intricate section of the gears here, and it just grinds in and stops. And looking around, you can tell that there's more that would need to be done to make this a at least semi-permanent problem for the bigs. I just breathed in spit. But you can take your time now without having to worry about the gears whirring and without having to worry about the sound going. And as those gears halt, you kind of feel a little bit of a shake as the weights shift and stutter and halt. And what would you like to do here now that things seem to have gotten to a standstill?
There's a big sigh of relief and taking out of the earwax.
Yeah.
Something hit the pocket. It's like, oh, great job, Brandy.
Yeah, amazing.
Thank you. It's just through a stick. I don't know.
Yes, but your aim was excellent.
On point.
That's true. Thank you.
Right.
All right, I'm excited. We can look at everything in here.
Mm-hmm.
Just sit, take a breather for a second or two, looking at everything.
How are some of these so I assume that there are smaller gears that are connected to the progressively bigger ones. How are they attached? Are they is there any endpoint kind of ones that maybe they could be separated? Or sorry, should I be looking at the grandfather clock as well?
No, sorry. I was also just actively getting my pixel chat back up.
Yes.
So looking at all of the gears and things here, go ahead and roll perceptive for me.
Okay, that was 4. What did I do on the other? But perceptive. There's a 4. So 10.
10. So looking around, you definitely see that there are several spots on kind of ending areas and things that this all is kind of a contained unit, but you see that there are a couple of end points where you might be able to with a little bit of a wedge or a shift to it, like a crowbar kind of thing, you would be able to break free a couple of these gears.
So I will point that out to everyone and kind of say, well, if we take some of these gears, or at least remove them, and then we can chuck them down so that we can retrieve them as we exit, I think that will be it's a much harder solution for them to fix, because not only is it all gummed up, there are parts missing without which it will turn.
Yeah, that does sound like a good idea. I do have my little stone dagger that we can use to help pry. Yeah, I think we can do this. We can definitely get at least 1 or 2.
I think I definitely have my trusty tool, a trusty little
Yes.
Not knife, but yeah.
Yeah, your non-Swiss Army knife, Swiss
Yeah.
Army knife.
Yeah.
Self-made.
Yep. The
And
best ones are.
Yeah, exactly. So I would say both of you roll. What would it be? I would say resourceful for this.
Okay.
Or cunning, because unlock, like it's not really unlock, but I feel like that could apply as well. Cunning or resourceful, your choice.
Okay, I think Penn will be a little more cunning about what it is they're seeking out to pry.
Yeah,
Trying to
I'm
make the strategy of it.
resourceful as always is my best skill. Cunning's not bad, but so I've got a 15.
And I got a 10 total.
Oh yeah, we're rolling. Sorry.
Okay.
What are we rolling?
No worries. So it was just so you know, Caden, we can't see you for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
My camera decided to quit for a while.
Okay.
How
Trying to
dare.
get it back.
Okay, no worries. So long as you're here, we're good.
I'm here.
Okay. So let's see. We've got a 15 for Spinnaker and a 10 for Penn. Okay, 10 for Penn.
Yeah.
So you describe to us what you both are doing here to break these free. Yay! And then Spinnaker, I'll give you your extra added bonus.
Okay. I think it's having identified those kind of little ones. Maybe there's like a little there's a little pin or something that is holding it in that can be kind of untightened or whatever. Well, not necessarily untightened, just kind of pulled back slightly so that the other thing can be shifted. So maybe we'll kind of loosen up the area and kind of with the tool to make it easier for Penn to kind of also shift the gear so we can all kind of pry it out.
Okay. So while I have not seen the inner workings of a grandfather clock, I did used to make steampunk jewelry. So I do know a little bit about taking apart watches. And so we'll just play pretend. Hey, it's a game. And so I would say that there's this section that you see that there's like a flat bit of metal that's wrapped around and holding onto one section of gears. And you notice that if you were to pull that back, you would be able to pull some of those gears free. And of course, like it's about this big to you. And so you wedge your tool in, and with Penn's assistance, with that the rock knife thing, you're able to squeeze it out enough that you're able to pull these rather large to you, as always, gears out. And they're just able to be pulled out entirely. And it's big enough that, say, if you wanted to use it for maybe a chair or something like that, you definitely could. But it's one of those that is like flat gears, like they're the same, and then there's like a middle section. So it's almost like, do I have one of them here? No, it's almost like this. It's almost like this.
Oh, like a bobbin.
With metal gear instead.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing. So you're able to pull this out, and if you want to, just drop it down to the bottom. Because why carry something when you can drop it and pick it up later?
Yeah, we're going down there anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This would make a good side table.
Yes. Okay. So we've taken a couple of those out. Do we think that there's anything else that like would provide that would just make it a lot harder to kind of
Like little pins or springs.
They're the little hammers that make the bongs.
Yeah, that's true. There are the actual hammers that strike against the chimes or whatever, the bells, whatever it is in there.
I wonder if we could file those hammers down so that they're actually just too short to reach the bell. But it's not like immediately, it's not something that's going to be obvious. It just doesn't. I mean, that could have been the thing that we just did right at the beginning. Because they'll still go, but they won't.
Well, but they were actively like shifting and moving and stuff, and you would risk like every 15 minutes like them actually going and hitting. So that would have been a little bit more dangerous to do.
Yeah. Well, I'm suggesting it now.
Sounds great.
And Stumble's just been going along with everything that you all are saying because he's just like, oh, this is great. You all are taking the lead. Perfect. And he's just following along, and he manages to pull a couple more of the gears out and toss them down as well.
Yeah, I can see some very good uses for them. So you'll have to take some back to Florrie because I'm sure that they will be fascinated by them as well.
Absolutely. I think I have a couple of ideas for something as well that he might be able to do. It's a little bit out of my area of expertise, but the two of you should definitely talk.
Oh, yeah. Yes, definitely. Right.
So filing down the hammers or?
Yeah, filing down those hammers.
Okay. I would say just go ahead and roll. I'm going to say reasoned.
Sorry.
Because devise construct. I feel like that makes more sense.
Okay. A 4, and a 4. 12.
A 12. Incredible. It takes a little bit of time, but now that you no longer have to worry about the loud gonging sounds, it's not as big of a deal to you. And the bigs are nowhere to be seen so far. And so with some teamwork and ingenuity, you manage to file away at those hammers. You won't know if it worked or not until they eventually fix the grandfather clock, but you feel safe in the knowledge that at least it'll be much, much quieter the next time around. And with that, you all rappel down, getting back down to the ground level, and collect all of your gears. Stumble collects a few to bring back to Florrie, and you take however many pieces you found as well, and you bring your haul back to your home under the floorboards. And I think that that's a great place for us to stop for today. So, very well done.
Woo, we did it.
You successfully stopped the loud clanging noises that have been plaguing you for days.
And apparently we should have done some grandfather clock research before we did.
Apparently. I mean, I have a picture of it.
Yeah, I don't... Thinking about it, it's like
I have a picture of it, but then I was just like, oh yes, how is this constructed? Maybe I should have watched a video about the insides of grandfather clocks. But we're fine. It's okay. It's all fantasy in the end. So before we stop for the day, we do need to do our identify what you did well, like what abilities you did well with, and see if you can roll over them to add to your rolls. So let's go around in a circle, starting with Spinnaker.
Right. So definitely really use resourceful here a lot.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
is it the 2 dice again or
Yes. So what is your current number?
6?
6. Okay. So you need to roll a 7 or up. And 7 is the most common number rolled in 2d6s.
Yeah. It is a 9. So yes.
Okay. So your resourceful goes up to a 7.
Yay.
Very nice. Brandy.
I think Brandy used enduring the most, if my memory holds.
I think so, yeah. Okay, so what's your number on enduring right now?
4.
4. 5 or up?
I rolled a 4.
Oh, so the number stays the same. That's okay. And then Pen, what do you
All
think?
right. Well, I had the most epic things with agile, so I'll try and beat my
agree.
agile, which is a 6 right now,
Okay.
which I rolled an 8.
Hey,
Nice.
so now it is a 7. Very well done. So, just a reminder to anyone in the chat, we have a giveaway going on. So, if you haven't done that yet, it's ! Floorboards. And if we, for any reason, don't get someone to do that to win the giveaway or anything this week, we can always push it to next week and we'll have two. So please, if you haven't yet, definitely put that into the chat, ! Floorboards. Lovely giveaway of the Under the Floorboards game. And so let's see. Let's do things in the correct order. Let's see. We will wait to see about that. Let's just go ahead and do our outros. Let's start with, let me look at the thing. Let's start with Spinnaker or Lola.
I should make sure I'm not muted. Yes,
Mhm.
I am Lola, and well, I have been Spinnaker,
Mhm.
and I am Lola. Yes, I'm
Where can
here
people
playing
find
this
you?
every Monday, but otherwise you can find me at Third Vault Yarns on most social media, if not all social media, because branding. I do
Yeah.
stuff with the yarn, and
Mm.
I also write some games and stuff under Johnson O'Fair on itch.io. And I think last time I was telling you that I released a new game. So go check that out still, because all the funds we receive at the moment are going into being able to pay a really amazing artist, Nala Wu, to improve the graphic design and do some amazing cover art for it. And also basically to sponsor printed copies. So we have some really beautiful printed copies to come. But yes, so that game is, do I remember the name of it? Oh yeah, Universe at Your Door, The Traveller.
Great. Okay, and then Caden.
Hi, I'm Kaden. I can be found mostly on the Twitter at Magdalene Bloom. Yes, it's always the Twitter. I don't know why.
The
Or
Twitter.
the
Yes.
X.
No. Always Twitter.
And I played Brandy,
Mm-hmm. Very
who
cool.
apparently now jumps in grandfather clocks and climbs things. I don't know.
Yeah, why not? Very good. And then Natalie.
All right. So, hello, I'm Natalie. I was playing Pen, our little risk taker. Finding most places on the internet with Ghost Candle or Ghostly Candle on Twitch and YouTube. I am primarily an artist, but I also do a variety of things. But I do have a heavy hand in tabletop RPGs, especially playing them. Later today at 8 p.m., I'll be on Nerds with Dice running a game of Night with a fantastic group of folks. I think we got a really fun story brewing there. Tomorrow, I'll be over on Tavernaut's channel. We're running Cryptic Creeks, so I'll be there. And so much more coming up. So just make sure you follow and you'll see all the fun stuff.
Perfect. And I am Anya. I have been your guiding voice. I am a pro GM on Start Playing. And besides that, I make costumes that you can barely see in stream, but that's okay. I make costumes on stream. Tomorrow, I will be continuing to work on my Imogen Temel level up jacket. I'm very excited about it. And all that fun stuff. Let's see, things to announce. So first of all, our giveaway will be rolled over to next week. And then also a couple of fun things on Thursday is Alien Destroyer of Worlds here on Girls Run These Worlds, sponsored by Free League. Join game mother Fiona and her crack team of colonial marines as she throws them into a gauntlet of one hell after another. Then we also have Cryptid Creeks, which hit Kickstarter on September 5th and blew past so many of their, I think all of their stretch goals incredibly. And it says, in the blink of a giant octopus's eye. I love that. And we cooked up something with Hatchling Games to showcase this adventurous new system. Check out the YouTube exclusive with JC Darcy, Liv Kennedy, Gask, Ida, and Mo, and then back the Kickstarter to get your hands on the game yourself. Additionally, we have the premiere of Bluebeard's Bride Recurring Nightmares tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern here on this channel. It is a limited series featuring unique settings from glamorous Hollywood to a terrifying asylum. Please note, viewer discretion is advised. It is not light and fluffy like this game. It is Bluebeard's Bride. So just check the warnings on that one. So we are going to be raiding into RPG Geeks. They are in the middle of the finale of their Starfinder campaign. So stick around for the raid. And thank you so much for watching. Have a good one, everyone. Bye-bye.